morning. I always say good morning because I start pretty early in the morning with my day. But I'm glad y'all came back to the kitchen to spend some time with me. Now I just made a fresh gallon of tea and the ice maker's full of ice. Man, y'all came at the right time. I'm going to make today a casserole that I bet every one of y'all will like. It's a Mexican chicken casserole. And I've already boiled I boiled 4 or 5 thighs and I deboned them. But in the water that I cooked the chicken in, I mashed up a couple of cloves of garlic and I put about a teaspoon of salt and a tablespoon of onion powder. And then I even added about 1/4 of a teaspoon of garlic powder to the broth. And I boiled my chicken for about 40 minutes. Now you don't want to just boil the fire out of your chicken because then it turns to shreds when you debone it and put it in there. But if you'll watch it, a long time ago our church was going to serve chicken and dumplings and I think green beans. I don't remember. We served a lunch to raise some funds. And Sister Matt Cagle was the one that was making the dumplings. And different ones were boiling the chicken and bringing and she said, don't boil it over 45 minutes or it'll be just shreds. Well, I had never heard that before, but I have paid attention to that ever since. And it does make a difference. Don't just put it on the stove and boil it. Kind of time it or use your thermometer. And when it gets to 165 or so, then it's safe to take it off the stove. It's going to cook a little bit more in the hot broth. And if you're going to debone it, of course, it's not going to have that option because you're going to lift it out to cool. But I ended up with about 3 cups of chicken. And I've got right at 2 cups of the broth here. And into the broth, you're going to add some soup mixture. You're going to add a can of cream of celery and a can of cream of chicken soup, 1 can of drained whole kernel corn, and 1 can of tomatoes with green chilies. And whether you get the mild or the hot, that's up to you. You're also going to use some Dorito chips, just plain corn tortilla chips, and that'll be the base. And then you put your stuff on top of it, your mixture, cheese, and some more of these. You're also going to use Velveeta. Now sometimes I will get the 2-pound block and slice my own pieces. Today I was lazy. I bought a package of Velveeta slices and they make it so easy. I double them because I like it real cheesy. So I'll just lay these around on the top. But I'm going to bring the camera where y'all can see and see what I'm doing so that you can have exactly how to make this for your family. I like to have this with pinto beans and maybe some cornbread. Cabbage is really good with it, or just the casserole and a salad is good. So let me change the camera where y'all can watch what I'm doing, and we'll get on with making us a Mexican chicken casserole. I'm using my favorite 9x13 pan, and I always spray it with a cooking spray because that just makes the cleanup easier. So what you do, you take, this bag is, well, I'm trying to see how many ounces. A 10-ounce bag of the tortilla chips. And this is just the store brand. All it is just, you just want the corn tortillas. And you just put a layer in the bottom of your pan. And kind of mash them a little bit. You're going to do 2 layers on this. Okay, once you get that in, you're going to mix in, once you get that in there, add your tomatoes to your broth, your cream of soups, both of them, celery and mushroom, you know, if you didn't have these soups and you were really wanting to make this, you could saute probably some, I would do a little onion and celery in a little bit of butter and add you some heavy cream to equal the the 10 ounces. That would give you the same flavor. It's just convenient to use the canned soup. And I'm going to add my can of corn. Now I like to heat this a little bit so that my soup will really be dissolved. So I'm going to stick it in the microwave until it's warm enough that I can whisk it and dissolve the soup, and then I'll be right back. Okay, we're ready to put it together. Now I've crushed about half of the bag of the Doritos on here, and I've sprinkled the chicken around. Okay, now I'm going to ladle, because if I pour it, I'll make a great big mess. The mixture here over the top of the chips. Now you want to layer your cheese around on the top of that. You know, I think I'm going to do single layer cheese. I was doubling it, but I think single is going to be plenty, because you're going to have 2 layers. So, but you do want cheese in the middle for sure, because I do like it cheesy. Okay, I've got it all covered that far with the cheese. Okay, I'm going to put some more chicken on the top here. Okay, now I'm going to add some more of the liquid. I hope y'all are having a good day. We're just, my husband was mowing, and he threw a rock and broke the back window on my little baby car. Now my baby car is a Mitsubishi Mirage, and it is a little baby car. I was used to a Dodge truck, and I still like the truck, but I got it for the gas mileage. I get about 40 miles to the gallon. But anyhow, on my baby car, he was mowing and he threw a rock and broke that back window on the little, whatever you call it back there. It's not really, I think it's called maybe a hatchback, but it don't have a big old window. Anyhow, he broke that window. So we're waiting right now for the guys to come. They're going to come to the house and put a new glass in the back of my baby car. So that's what's going on at the Jordans today. We're getting a new window, back window, put in the little red car. Can y'all believe it's red? Who would have thought that I would have had a red car? My favorite color. Okay, y'all, I'm going to put this into a 350-degree oven. And everything in it, you know, is cooked. So we just want the cheese to just melt and bubble. So I'm going to watch it, but probably 20 minutes. And then I'll bring y'all back, and I wish we had smell-o-vision, because it already smells good, but once it cooks, you know how the kitchen gets when you get something good ready to eat. Makes people start migrating toward the table. So it'll just be me and Troy, but we'll have some to portion up. This freezes really well. So we'll probably eat about a third of it, and then the rest of it I will portion up and vacuum seal it. But you know what? I've got a vacation coming up. I'm leaving on the 13th, and I'll be gone for 2 weeks. I'm going to the beach at Anna Maria in Florida with my daughter and her family. My husband don't like the beach, so he's not going. But I will have him some meals that all he has to do is pull out and let it thaw and pop it into the oven. And actually I have a microwave dish from Tupperware called the Micro Pro Grill, and when you put your food in it and heat it in the microwaves don't hit the food, but if it needs to be crispy, it crisps it, but it tastes like it was heated in an oven. And he doesn't mind using that because it's convenient, and you just almost wipe it clean. This is what the Micro Pro Grill looks like, and it's made with a special material that the microwaves, this heats, it's weird, but it works. The microwaves do not hit your food. You know when you have pizza and you have it left over, it never tastes good. If you heat leftover pizza in this, the bottom gets crispy again, your cheese is bubbly, and it's just like you just got it at the pizza place. Now there's also the same heating stuff in the top of this. So if you put it like this, which is what he would do for a casserole, it's up off of the food. But if I wanted to cook chicken breasts, a lot of times I'll cook I'll just put some butter in here and put lemon, pepper, and salt on my chicken. And you put this way, it sets down on it and actually grills it. So you can take it off in about 5 minutes, flip your chicken, put it back in, and you've got delicious, moist chicken. But what he can do is put his casserole in here, even frozen, set it on in the casserole setting, and microwave it. It takes about 4 minutes. It gets up to 425 degrees, and that's as hot as it gets. And so he can heat his frozen food up in this, and it'll be good. Now, I'll try to remember to leave a link if y'all want to go to the Tupperware site and see about getting you one. They're a little bit pricey. But let me tell you, if you cook a bunch and have leftovers and you have to heat them up, I do not like food heated in the microwave. Most of it just tastes funny when it's heated in there. If you heat it in one of these, it's just the same as heating your big oven, putting it in there and heating it, but you're saving all of that heat in your kitchen. So just a plug, if you're interested in one, it's the Micro Pro Grill. I think I'm being chatty Cathy today, but oh well. It's raining here again. Good grief. I want to show y'all something I found at TJ Maxx. That's one of my favorite places because you sure can get some deals there. This is a silicone trivet, but look how it folds up. Isn't that awesome? And then you just bring all the little pieces out, and then you've got a trivet to lay down that can take the heat and keep your stuff up off the table or whatever. So that's another little dilly that I found at TJ Maxx, and I really like it. I'm still waiting for it to be ready to come out of the oven, but I think it's almost time. It's bubbling, but I like for my cheese to get a little bit brown on the top. So I'm going to let it cook a little bit more, and I'll be back in a little bit. I might think of something else I think I need to tell you about, and if I do, I'll hop back on here. Okay, I've got the casserole out of the oven, and you can see it's still bubbling around the edges. I decided it had been in there long enough, and it just wasn't going to get brown. So I'm going to dish some up and show y'all how yummy it looks. Okay, I've got the casserole out of the oven, and as you can see, it is delicious looking. Well, if the camera will focus on it. Well, I've worked a little while and got a good meal ready for my honey to eat. He's outside doing something. I don't know, he probably got caught in the rain and he's under a shed out there somewhere, because it's raining again. I've already tasted the casserole. It has your corn in it for your vegetables and your tomatoes. Then you got the cheese, and I topped it with a little bit of green onions. I like the flavor of the green onion blades, so I put it on just about everything. Besides, it makes it pretty. So I hope y'all will try this and let me know what you think of it. It's one of my go-tos and one of my family's favorites. So y'all make you some spicy Mexican chicken casserole. Put it on the table. Serve that family. Make you some memories. And come back tomorrow for another good recipe.